welcome back to the final episode of the Curious Cube.
At least of season 1.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Wow, it's been a long journey.
I agree. I feel like we've also gotten so much better at just podcasting
Being
in
good
general.
at
We
it.
watched how awkward our first video was.
Yeah, the first, we've gotten so much better at like the first video was like we recorded 3 separate 3-minute sections that were like we didn't even know how to do
We
that. in
we
one
weren't
take.
even like that confident in like.
And now we like
recording
roll
all-
up whole half-hour episodes in one take.
Yeah, we got good.
Yes.
We got better.
And we really hope
Yes.
that you, the viewer, have enjoyed watching all of our episodes and hearing us talk about things. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
And I have really enjoyed being on this podcast. But sentimental stuff aside, we
The
have a
last
special
episode
guest.
the last episode of season 1 of this podcast also means that it's sort of the end of the whole, academic year, the whole cycle, and so it's sort of time to have a look back at what happened this year. And so we have with us Jennifer Barton, the Director of Competitions Operations for the MAA-AMC. And so we will be interviewing her, and sort of taking a look back at what happened this school year.
Hi, Jen. It's nice to meet you.
Hi everyone. Hey, Isabella, Holden, and Luke. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. We've gotten through another AMC cycle.
Yeah.
This is my 4th year with the program. And so it was a challenging cycle, but I'm glad that we could get through it and that a lot of students had the opportunity to engage in some of our analytical
Yeah.
problems again this year.
So for those of you who don't know, this is Jennifer Barton. She is the MAA Director of Competitions and Operations. Basically, she's the head honcho of everything. And we're really
At least
honored to
everything
have you
where
here.
it comes to the AMC stuff. Obviously,
Like the
MAA is
competition
like
side
a
of
big
Yes.
MAA.
thing, but
Yeah.
when it comes to the AMCs, she's the one in charge.
Yeah. We're really honored to have you here. So on with the interview. So now that we've finished a new cycle of the AMCs, can you give us a quick recap on what new things were tried out this year, or just how it went in general?
Yeah, a couple of new things we tried, and some were successful, some not so much, to be transparent. But one was changing the dates. And so historically, the AMC 8 was in the fall, and the AMC 1012 is in the winter. And so when I first started, one thing I noticed was that inevitably in February, there were snowstorms. And so there were school closings, schools were canceled. There were delays with packages, and the way our system works, we can't accept packages if they come after the deadline because there's literally like a shut off. So I was like, hey, why don't we just change the dates? Why don't we do the 8 in January? The 8, you have a week to take it. You have 5 business days. The 10-12, we need to get those scores faster so that we can do AMI invitations and then USAMO invitations. So I think that was one of the largest changes that I made this year was changing the dates.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it was largely for the better. What do you think, Luke?
I think it's definitely nice to have more time can be a good thing. There are pluses
And it's
and
more
minuses.
time to prepare for the AMI too.
Yeah, I think in theory, I was proud of the idea. In execution, we didn't do that well this year, just to be transparent. It wasn't faster. I had an email from a woman named Skona who is quite vocal and is like my touch point for how do we do? And she was like, Jen, you said I'd get my score report faster, and I didn't. And I was like, Skona, you're right. And so I think in theory, the change, there was absolutely good intention. Execution, we didn't meet the mark this year. And so I own that. I own that as operations, one charge with operations, and we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it for next year so that when you take the 10-12 early, the whole point is to get your scores early. And so we're going to implement some changes to where you actually do get your scores early. So then the date changes make sense. I also had some response from teachers that said we needed some prep time. It's not easy for us to reserve a classroom and to shift and to get eighth graders together when we get back in January, or to get 10, 12. School starts in September, and it's a really quick turnaround to prep them for the 10, 12 in November. And so I own that too. I own that, as we sit here and we try to make decisions that help those that are administering the competition, they need some more time and they need some more notice before I'm like, hey, I have a great idea. Let's change. And they're like, Jen, we needed to know. So I own that too. In the long run, though, I do think the change will benefit us, and just giving us that time to process and prep for the Amy. So we're going to try it. We're going to try it one more year, and we're always open to feedback. And so we'll see how it goes once we do actually execute it the way it was planned, and see if there is some benefit to the date changes.
Wait, my brain is blanking. Like, when was this announced? What was the date change announced? I'm kind of forgetting.
We announced it last year spring.
Ah,
So maybe April, May, it went out in an email. I think sometimes our emails are read. Sometimes once the season is over, not as much. And so whereas there were some teachers and competition managers that read the email and were given a little bit of notice, some kind of wait until it's time for registration again to read our emails. And they were like, I didn't know. And so it was announced in the spring, and the change was implemented that following fall.
Yeah, so I think it's great that you're taking ownership of all the things that went wrong. But on the flip side, I think we should talk about some of the things, that went well during this year's AMC cycle. And of course, what could have gone better.
Yeah, Holden, there's a lot I am proud of in the spirit of that. We recognize more students in the USAMO. This was a request. Actually, I want to say, Luke, you might have started this.
I was
request.
definitely one of the people who was a pretty big proponent
Yeah.
of this idea.
Yeah, and so there's some things that it takes a minute to implement, like some changes we'll talk about a little later. But there's some things where I was like, I can do that. I can recognize these amazing students that have studied and tried so hard and really tried to. It takes a lot to be invited to USAML, a lot of preparation to take the 1012 and the Amy, and it's a pretty rigorous program. But we absolutely wanted to recognize those students. And so thank you, Luke. And there was some folks behind the scenes, Evan and Zuming and Bela, who is the AMC director on the mathematical side, that they're like, Jennifer, let's do it. Let's just do it. And so not only have we done it, but we want to grow it. We want there to be a recognition with sponsors. We want there to be events involved around it. So we're going to take that idea and run with it. But this year we were able to recognize some more students. I was also pretty proud of our Girls Certificate Program, our Young Ladies in Mathematics Certificate Program. Every year we're able to lift up and recognize young ladies that are performing really well in math. So that was a lot of fun. Another goal of ours is continuing to build community. And so what you guys are doing with this platform builds that community where let's hear from the students. Let's hear from the EGMO team. Let's hear from Jennifer as she recognizes the flaws and the successes of AMC. So you guys are a part of that goal of building community, as well as our Empowered website. We had some pretty fun events, some escape rooms and some fireside chats that were really well received as far as attendance. So those are some fun things we were able to do this year.
Yeah, and I hope the whole thing about getting, more sponsors and more recognition can continue to happen, because sometimes, it feels like a lot of the people, like when you're talking about like the general public, they maybe don't really understand what math Olympiads are. They're like, oh, proofs, is that thing with 2 columns that I did in my geometry class? So, it's nice if there's more recognition and more, awareness in the whole shebang.
Yeah, well, you guys are approachable and accessible. And I think that makes a difference too, is that there's a person behind the creation of the problems as well as the trying and completion of the problems. And so you guys put a face to it. Like you said, it's like you're doing proof-based what? And then you got recognize, and so you guys have been doing a lot to talk about it and talk about what you like in math. And I have this joke in my head that I just have to say it. I love geometry. I'm just kidding. But I saw the Curious Cube with Vivian who kept talking about geometry. And so as someone that traveled to EGMO, she traveled across the country to compete in math, and did so well. I think the episode aired before they actually competed. And they came in first, which our goal isn't to win, but our goal is just to be players in the game. Just try it, just see how you do, and hopefully they enjoy it. So that was
Yeah.
that was fun.
Winning isn't everything, but it is fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's not everything, Luke. You mentioned something around recognizing USAMO. I'm hoping to kind of build this seesaw in competitions to where we start with 300,000 plus kids. And then as we continue, the pool gets narrower. And so the focus is on a smaller pool. But I'm hoping to find this balance where we're able to focus on a smaller pool, but still have a focus on a larger pool and see what we can do to improve their math skills and to build them up in mathematics, so that we're spending some time with that group of students and some time with the students that excel brilliantly in math, which is amazing and should be recognized. So hoping to get that
definitely.
seesaw effect at some point.
Yeah. You want even if there's the much larger group of people who don't make the Amy or something, you still want them to like maintain their interest and excitement about math. Definitely, is
Yeah.
important, very important.
Yeah, thus this platform is good. I know I've said that already, but they can just watch it. It's on social media. It's on YouTube. And so it's kind of fun to have this virtual platform. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah. So I guess moving on to the next question. So is there anything new the AMC community should look forward to for the next cycle, the 2022 to 23 cycle?
Few things.
We won't be a part of. Oops.
Yeah, because you guys are on to
We're old.
university.
We're
Well, Holden's in
old.
university, and you guys are on to university.
Mhm.
Hey, we might be
We're-
like writing problems or something,
Well, that would be great.
Who
I would
knows?
like that. So I'm gonna quote you and be like, "No, Holden, remember you said you'd write problems. It's on tape." So that would be great. Thank you. But we first and foremost are getting a new system. We're gonna get a new platform. We were talking about our platform yesterday, and it's kind of like how Apple has upgrades. It's like, oh, let me do an upgrade. Let me do an upgrade. With our AMC system, we weren't able to have upgrades. And so now we've kind of taxed what it was built for, the its main use. And I think it's time for an upgrade.
Did her camera freeze or?
I do not hear her anymore.
Yeah,
Sad.
Me neither.
For our students and teachers. And so it's a
you
little
cut
bit...
out like a little dirt.
Oh,
Like
did
a
I?
little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then let me group back.
I think you were talking about your platform.
Yes.
And the new
Yes.
platform switch.
Yes, so that is a focus when we think about what's coming up. So we'll be announcing it pretty soon, but it's going to change. What teachers interface with is going to change. We're still hoping to do hybrid. So we're hoping to continue with in person as well as online administration, and so that's something we had to adapt to during COVID. And yeah, we're hoping that we continue. We found that paper is still a favorite. And so we didn't want to get rid of paper. There's something to one in protecting the integrity that paper is able to do versus online. And then there's just a piece where just kind of pen to paper when computing and working on proofs, as you said, Luke, it just lends well. So we're always, for at least a few more years, we're going to continue to offer a hybrid, but implementing that new system is important. And then we want to continue to build our math community. So we're looking at competitions for fifth grade. We want to catch students at a younger age. We want to grow the Young Woman in Certificate program and hopefully be inclusive of LGBTQ community, of the African American, Native American, and Hispanic community, and build some recognition for folks that aren't typically as visible when you get to higher levels in math. So those are some pieces. In addition to a project we're working on called AMC for All, and we're going to kind of package some tools and resources and share them with underserved and underrepresented schools and see if we can see if those kids are interested in math. I had a woman, Rachel Levy, who said it's the power of the invitation. Were you asked to join the soccer team, or were you asked to join the math club? And sometimes it's as simple as that, and it can change your trajectory. So we're hoping to ask some students to join our team, join the math team, and then see if you like it. And if you do, that's great. And if not, that's okay too. But we think there's something in the power of the invitation. So that's where we want to get to 5th grade and some other underrepresented groups.
That sounds great. Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
more we can draw in more of the and then more there. Surely there's some undiscovered talent just waiting. And just one quick question about the whole platform thing. Like, will people still be doing like when they do the online test? Will that still be on the Art of Problem Solving website, or will it be some new thing?
So it probably will not be with AAPS. And so AAPS has been a tremendous partner. They have come in and really supported the AMC from the ground up. And so I'm so thankful to them. We're still in communication with them. We're still in talks with them. But more than likely, once we launch in the fall, it will be with another software. We're still going to partner with them. We're going to see if there's some testing we can do, some practice testing now that the platform is built on AAPS. So we'll still have a relationship. But once it comes down to the actual competition, it'll probably be on a different platform.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure many people will, are waiting to see what'll happen. But yeah,
me included. So fingers crossed.
Oh, I guess side question. What would some of like the what problems would this new platform solve in particular? Perhaps you might have alluded to this earlier.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So first, registration. Our registration system right now is a little clunky as far as inputting the data. So we're hoping that the registration is a little easier. Second is we don't have student level data in a database. If I wanted to see, Holden, did you ever take the AMC? I would kind of have to go into 2018, 2019. 2020. Now we're going to have student level IDs. And so I can just say, hey, did 1156 take it? And it'll show me your steps and your travel experience through the AMC program. And we think that'll be great for students when they're requesting scores, requesting, hey, can you show me my score for 1012? I'm applying for colleges. It'll be easy and more accessible. So we're hoping student level data and then reporting. Right now, we still use Scantrons. And so the Scantrons are mailed in, then they go through a Scantron machine that we've had some challenges with. So we're going to eliminate that. You scan your paper in, it goes into this online grading platform. And honestly, teachers should get scores within 24 hours now, as opposed to, I think this year we were almost running 3 months. We pledged for 30 days post competition, and we averaged 30 to 40 days. This year we were 3 months out. Our system was just burning out. We had folks that were checking for their scores at the same time we were still processing, and it just burnt out. And so it just kept delaying and delaying. So faster score reporting, better access to data, ease of registration for competition managers, and still offering a hybrid model that's a little bit more seamless. Those are some of the goals.
Yeah, I think those are a lot of really great benefits that would be nice to see in future years. And I guess speaking of future years, like looking more forward in the next 5 to 10 years, what can we expect the AMCs to look like? What changes would be implemented?
Ideally.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, ideally, I think there's going to be more opportunities. I think, as I mentioned, we're going to start reaching students at a younger age. I think we're going to start inviting more students. And I think we're going to really hone in on how we want to recognize students at all levels. And so there's ideas around, let's do something for students that are just a few points off making the Amy. So you took the 1012 and you were so close to Amy. Don't give up, because we've got this program in place to support you. And so next year when you try, you might make the Amy. We had some students that were invited to the USAMO, but didn't perform quite like they thought they would have. And it was really, really discouraging for a lot of them. And so as Luke mentioned, we want to have some practice. We want to say, hey, well, why don't you have a session with Luke? He's going to walk you through proofwriting. And so you'll feel kind of better equipped when you take the USAMO. Notice I said that on camera, Luke.
I don't know if it'll be specifically me or someone else, or I don't know what the
Yes,
future.
yes.
It could, it's possible. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah. But I guess, Holden, to answer your question, just kind of continue to bridge the gap. Continue to bridge the gap, continue to support students in math, have a really strong platform to administer the competition so that we can focus on some more other strategic efforts and reaching more students, broadening our reach. We have a really amazing international group that I'd love to engage in different ways, learn best practices. How are you engaging in math versus how we're engaging in math? So a lot of opportunities in the international landscape. And then opportunities of diversity, reach more students at a variety of levels, and really engage through our Empowered site. Math can be fun, and I don't know if all students are aware of that. There's a rigorous Common Core standard that you have to learn, but then there's things like Julia Robinson Math Festivals, where all you do is just play math games, and so math can be fun, and we really want students to experience what we experience with math in some different ways.
Yeah, I think all these opportunities are really great. One that like especially stood out to me was, the one about like offering additional opportunities to people who like score just below the cutoff. Because I know it can be really demoralizing, like my friends included, who perhaps were really close and just like end up like getting nothing out of it, or quote nothing,
Yeah.
But like with these additional opportunities, I think it would take the emphasis off of the actual scores and more on the learning.
And
I
hopefully not too
agree.
much like a consolation prize, like a
Yeah,
pity
yeah.
prize either. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not a consolation, but just support. They're like, hey, that
Mhm.
happened to me too. Hear from folks
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happened to. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I think as we work with young students, the trajectory could be wide. It's just you could do math or you could do English. You could like both. You could like biology, you could like engineering, and want to do both. And I think we just want to make sure that students that kind of got a taste of math, we don't lose them because of their scores. I think would be the goal. If you like it, just keep trying it, and we're here as a platform to help you build that. Now, if you change your mind and you're like, yeah, it's not really for me, that's fine too. And if you go into theater or drama or history or biology or whatever the case may be, that's awesome. But if you do, if you're interested in math, we don't want scores to be the reason that we start to lose some of the students. We want to be inclusive, and we want folks to feel a part of something, and we want and again, this goes into gender equalities and things like that, or ethnicity equalities, and we just want folks to feel welcome. And if you want to try it, we're here to try it with you. Don't let the scores be what takes you away from that. We're not, although I'm so proud of you all, we're not like the greeting ground for get into the top college. We're the math group, and I just want kids to try math and see if they like it and be there to support them. A lot of times once you get higher, it gets a little bit more intense and cutthroat, and you want to get into these great colleges, which is great. But at the end of the day, there's tons of colleges you can go to and still pursue math. And so we just want to be there for, again, with my seesaw, for all the kids, for all the students that are really bound to excel in math, and the students that are like, I like it, but you never know, and just see how we can support them in their studies.
And yeah, it's good to have more and more people, getting into math, because like even if they don't want to do math as a career, it can still be like, oh, now I have the math preparation to do biology, to do chemistry, to do physics, to do, computer programming, software engineering, whatever, all sorts of other
Yeah.
things where it can be like, oh, now you have the math background to do all those other things.
Yeah, I think so. I think it can build confidence just by trying it. Trying it, and you got 5 right. Well, that's awesome. I think our problems are analytical and thought provoking. So they're like, God, I've thought about that, but I think if I look at that problem again, I can probably approach it in this way. And those are skills you can use across the board. Those are skills that you can use when approaching drawing a painting and you try it the first time and you want to give up. Just thinking through, well, no, if I come back and use a different color, maybe that'll give it the dynamic that I'm really looking for. So hopefully the skills that we're building are transferable skills and can be used in mathematics or other areas.
So, yeah, I guess that's pretty close to the end of the interview, I guess. So is there anything else you'd like to say to the AMC community?
Um, Thanks, Luke. Thanks for asking. I think I wanted to join you guys because I wanted teachers and students to know we hear you. We're aware of the great things that are happening and the recognition and the students that are invited to the invitational competitions. I also absolutely own the challenges. I know that score reports came out 3 months late, and that was not cool. That was not our goal. I know that changing the dates did not fix all things AMC, but we're going to get this right. We're going to improve it. We're going to continue to have conversations like this. We'll have conversations with other teachers and students, and we're committed to this. We're committed to getting this right. I haven't been scared off by the challenges, so I just wanted to own some of the good and the bad, and just relay that we're going to make this work, and so that teachers and students and parents have a really great experience with our program. That's our goal, is to share analytical problems and hopefully spark interest in mathematics. That's literally my job. And so I'm going to stick with it. And hopefully folks listening to this just see a human behind some of the challenges that we're committed to working through some of the challenges and committed to really sharing a wonderful program with all students and teachers.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And
Yeah, thanks so much for being here and, spending time to interview with us today.
Thanks. Thank
Thank
even
you.
if I won't be part of the AMC cycle, I'm still like really excited to see what happens next, at least from afar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there can, it can be lots of good things happening to the next generation. I guess generation is a bit of a strong word for people who are only like 3 or 4 years younger than me or something, but still, generation.
Okay, great. Thank
Thanks
you
so
guys.
much.
Thank you guys for doing what you're doing. I think this has really helped build our community. And like I'm putting a face to AMC, you guys are putting a face to the students that excel. Like you guys are real people and you have real challenges and you've had some really fun conversations on Curious Cube. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great interview. I thought it was really illuminating to look back on, the other side of things for this year's contest.
And also to sort of not just look back, but also get a chance to look into the future, or we
Yeah.
sort of hope for the future.
I'm a
definitely agree
little
with a
bummed
lot
I
of-
won't be a part of it. But
Well, I mean,
that's just how it is.
we can still sort of help out as old
Yeah.
people.
You can write problems, Isabella. Write like number 1 on AMC 8 or something.
I think I'd like to think I'm a little better than that, but okay.
Clearly we need an all Curious Cube Olympiad day. One problem by each of us. We need
Can
to
I
make
write
this
problem
happen.
1?
By your reputation, yes.
Hey, well, okay. I'll take 3-6 and pretend like I'm capable. Okay, I'll just put on the Riemann hypothesis and call it a day.
Amazing.
Amazing. Wait, but I definitely agree with like a lot of the stuff that Jen said. I like how forward-looking she was, and also she was very open about like admitting like things that could have went better this school year, and I actually find that like very compelling, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, that was really nice to hear about.
Yeah, and we know that running a contest can be hard. I know from my experiences as the sort of I was the director of some contest for a while, and it was hard, and we did not always do things on time. It can be hard.
Yeah,
I think it can be hard is generally an understatement.
Especially with like that big of a contest.
Oh yeah, our contest was just like a few hundred teams. The MAA is working with like 40,000 people or something, or
40,000.
Sorry, more than 40. I feel like I don't know how many, but a lot.
Something like that, yeah. But so now that that's that for the contest season, let's just have a look back on Curious Cube as this entire season. It's been a journey.
Yeah. So it took us a while to find sort of the format of the episodes that we ended up going with, from this sort of steady increase of episode length throughout the first few episodes till we finally sort of hit the sweet spot at around
like
35
30-ish.
minutes. And so we've definitely gotten like better at talking or something.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so there's been a lot of good content this season. Some especially good episodes are like where we interviewed the IMO team and the EGMO team.
Yeah.
I also
I
think
think
that
all the interviews were like good in general because it allows us to like bring a diverse array of perspectives into the situation.
Well, yeah, into our podcast. Yeah.
I also think that people should I also feel like the Black History Month episode, like it ought to have more views than it currently does, or something. So,
Yeah. And that one's like really fun as well. Do you have a single favorite episode from a bunch?
how can I choose among my children?
Like any mother, I do have a favorite child.
Whoa! I'm gonna show this video to your kids when you have them.
Oh my. But my favorite episode is probably episode 5. That one was just really fun. I don't know. Math Maturity
What
and
was
Mom, I
episode
think.
5?
Math
Oh
Maturity and Mom.
yeah. Okay.
That one is probably the one that I look back on most. I also really liked um I liked both. I like the interview ones, and I also like episode 10.
I think the EGMO one was really fun to record as well.
Yeah,
Like the interview with the EGMO team.
geometry still sucks.
Agree.
Disagree. But yeah, that was actually our
Welcome
first.
to the Curious Square.
Wow.
Rip Luke.
Wow. But yeah, the EGMO team one, that was like our first interview episode. So
Yeah.
it was sort of a milestone that it's like the first time that like we are enough of an established presence as to be like the host and have more people. We've really come a long way, I guess. Yeah.
Honestly,
Anyway.
These episodes have been really fun to record. Yeah.
Anyway.
And also, just look at this sick drip. I've never talked into a mic before this. It's crazy.
We appreciate the MAA's like buying equipment for us.
Oh yeah, thank you MAA for like allowing us to have this platform as well.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to my co-hosts. You guys are great.
Aww.
Should we thank our recording assistant as well?
Yes, thank you, Mariam, for all your help.
And thank you, and most importantly, thank you to the viewer, especially if you stuck with us for every episode. I've met like at least a few of y'all, whether you're friends and just like heard about me talking about this, or you only heard about us just through Curious Cube. I guess that only applies to me and Holden, though.
I don't know. But yeah, so I guess you should like fill out we have some sort of like feedback form where you can like, tell us what you thought of it, and also like, tell us,
Tell us what you
we
like.
also want some like, we are also curious about like the demographics of who is watching this. So like there is also space on the forum where we wonder like, are we being watched by middle schoolers or by high schoolers, or is it this like parents and teachers? We wonder about these sorts of things.
So make sure to fill out the feedback survey. We'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah.
And so yeah, and now that we've talked about sort of our good moments in Curious Cube, we will give you a look at some of the times in which we are, less than professional.
Wait, but Luke, you promised early on that you would talk about why this.
Oh yes. Sorry,
it was your idea.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, before we get to the blooper roll, I guess I told people that we would explain where the name comes from, and apparently
he has no memory of this.
Apparently we never. No, I have some memory of this. Like, apparently, I'm slightly confused by people telling me we never explained this in episode, but this was like 4 months ago. So they tell me we never did this, so I will believe them. So anyway, like, I guess there are several things in the name. First of all is like the fact that like when you have a cube, you can like there are 3 sides of the cube that are like visible. Like when you look at a cube, you see 3 sides of it.
Wait, if the cube is sufficiently small, you can see 4 sides.
How?
Like place it between your eyes or something.
Oh. We get it. You have binocular vision. It's a good one though. Okay, but yeah. Well, but by that
Continue.
okay. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, you can generally see three sides, and so like there are three hosts, so it sort of corresponds. In fact, I think even once upon a time we even had some ideas that like one side of one color of each face should like we would have one color that corresponded to each of us or something, but clearly that didn't pan out
I mean,
exactly.
it still kind of works because like I'm yellow, Holden's green, you're blue.
But
Like,
I'm green.
Wait, I'm yellow.
Like,
I'm
I am
blue.
green. I am literally green. Like, anyway, but yeah, that was part of it. And then also, this one is really kind of strange, but I think there was some connection to like in classical, like really old-timey mathematics, they had some questions about like what sort of things can you do with a compass and straight edge? And so there were these famous questions of like, can you trisect an arbitrary angle? Can you construct a cube whose volume is twice that of another cube? And can you construct a square whose area is equal to a given circle? And so like there is some sort of bizarre legend that something like some ancient Greek city was having a plague, and they asked the Oracle of Delphi what they should do. And the Oracle said that they should take the cubical altar of Apollo and double its size, but they didn't understand that they needed to double the volume, and they doubled the edge length instead, so the plague got worse. Something like this, something in mythology. And so anyway, so like the point is like if the Oracle of Delphi had something to do with the problem of doubling the cube, then like in some very vague sense, like we are also someone you ask questions to, kind of like the Oracle of Delphi ? So you ask, at least that
Still
was
makes
the original.
more sense than a lot of K-pop group names.
At least that was sort of the original conception. We seem to have moved less in the direction of questions and more in the direction of we just talk. But if you have questions, we still like getting questions. So yeah, that is. Oh, and then like curious is like, I guess you're curious about the answers to your questions, and also maybe it sounds nice.
Yeah, we were like brainstorming names, and then Luke brought up, what about the Curious Cube? And then like I was like, that does have like a kind of nice ring.
And you can sort of see the letter C in the logo. Like C.
That was the intention, but like,
yeah,
it's, like C.
It's not easy. It's not that obvious to see, but like you can kind of see it.
Guess I should.
No pun intended.
Like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess we will now let people see the blooper reel. Yeah. Sometimes we are not, the most professional and polished. So yeah.
Yeah. There are plenty of behind the scene moments, but it's been a really fun ride. So
yeah, here is season 1 blooper reel.
Enjoy.
And thank you again for watching.
And see you around.
Wait.
Okay.
I know it's
blooper content.
No, bad blooper content. Wait, what are we talking about?
Shouldn't we?
Well, the recording started, but this can be cropped, right?
No, yeah, clearly this is the best way to start an episode. Otherwise, hello.
All right, 5, 4,
6,
3,
9.
2. Shut up. 1. Hello.